We've got the 2 seed Knicks playing the 6 seed Pacers. A couple of interesting first round series for those guys. What'd you guys think?
I think the Pacers might be frauds. And I know I'm probably not the first person to say that this season, but did that look like a team that should win a playoff series to you?
Yeah, well, let's just leave it at they beat a team with Chris Middleton as their best player for half the series. I think that kind of says it all.
I mean, give them credit. They were beating the hell out of Bobby Portis. Except for the one game where they got reversed and he fucking dunked all over them.
Yeah, that was truly a fascinating series. Can't help but feel for both Dame and Bucks fans because this is 2 years in a row where Giannis has been injured for the first round, and then you trade for another star and he's injured. Title window for the Bucks is kind of closing faster than we all anticipated, but Pacers took the series. Pretty fraudulent, I agree. Can't see this going anywhere with the Knicks.
Yeah, anyone who's thinking of picking the Pacers, you go back and watch Game 5 from that series with the Bucks, and then you come back and tell me if you're still picking against the Knicks.
I will say with the Bucks thing, I mean, the same thing rings true for the Nets when they played them. Like, Kyrie just got hurt and that was Giannis, like, got underneath him and made him turn his ankle. So, I mean, it's just kind of like karma, I think. Like, the Bucks won only because the whole league was injured after the bubble, and now they're getting hurt by injuries. I mean, you don't like to see it, but I mean, if there was a team, if there were a team to get marred by injuries that I had to pick, it would be the Bucks. So I do think that it's kind of hard to gauge the Bucks Pacers series because I mean, I didn't watch a ton of it, and mostly because the Bucks injuries, like they didn't really have a team to put out there for half the series. So I think it's also kind of hard to judge the Pacers because I mean I imagine the Pacers coaching staff is like all oriented around Damian Lillard and Giannis. So when they're not playing, it's kind of like they don't have like it's a lot more. It fluctuates a lot more. So yeah, I think we haven't touched on Knicks Sixers, but I mean, Knicks Sixers was like it's like a couple of calls, a couple of bounces, and the Sixers are here instead of the Knicks. So, and I think it's important to understand that Josh Hart, he will be in a retirement home by the age of 65. Like, he will not have proper brain function further on in his life, but he will be grabbing some fucking boards for the Knicks and playing 48 minutes. So props to him. I don't know how you can do that to your players and get away with it, man. I don't know. Like, I haven't checked the Pacers minutes, but they couldn't have been playing like Haliburton 43 minutes, and I don't know if that's sustainable for considering they both the series both series went to 6. I think the Pacers have a major advantage on, how tired they are. What is your curious to hear your prediction? Because I mean, I probably had like Pacers in 7 or something around there. What about you guys?
That is not where I was going. I think Knicks Sixers is a little deceptive. I think Sixers are sneakily like the third best team in the East probably. So when I see the Knicks struggle against the 7 seed, I don't think that's necessarily indicative. I mean, Embiid was playing great too that series. Like, this was as close as you could get to a full strength Sixers team. I mean, Tobias Harris snuck it up. Their whole franchise is very odd place, but probably for another episode. But I was pretty impressed by the Knicks, to be honest, on how they handled that. And as a result, I think I'm honestly going Knicks in 4. I think this is a sweep. I don't think the Pacers have any way around that defense of the Knicks. I think Brunson versus, put whatever Pacers guard you want on him, it's still going to be a bloodbath anyway. Yeah, I'd be shocked if the Pacers pull a game.
Yeah, I think if Jalen Brunson averages 35 and a half and 9 assists, yeah, there's no team. The Celtics won't even beat that team. Like, so I think I'm just sort of banking on that not being as surefire of a thing. There's not really a lot of reasoning there. I'm just assuming that it's not going to to keep up. And I think that the Pacers are like obviously a high-powered offensive team, and I don't think the Knicks have as talented like bigs, especially. Like, I'm not very moved by Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein as like their rim protectors. I think they could get outplayed pretty heavily. So I think that the guard play obviously goes to the Knicks just because they have Jalen Brunson. But I think Haliburton will be able to offset some of that just because he should elevate, the floor for the rest of his team. I don't see when Brunson's taking, like 30 shots a game and, he gets these like 9 assist games. It's like the usage is so high, the minutes are so high that I can see that being more volatile and going the way the Knicks don't want. I think that the scenario where the Knicks do dominate the Pacers, they win both their games pretty handedly on their home court, and they get to rest their players and not play them 48 minutes a game. And I think if that happens, the Pacers are in a pretty rough spot. So yeah, I could see the Knicks for sure winning, which is why I have it in 7. Like I'm not that confident in the Pacers. But I mean they have Siakam, they have Obi Toppin who played for the Knicks, so that'd be a cool little thing there. But I think they do have a pretty talented squad, and just like the Sixers were like hit with injuries, like the Pacers had an injury to Haliburton, and then he kind of was just playing for his to meet the threshold of games played for All NBA. So I think that he could go off against the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock in Knicks in 5, just because I think in a 7-game series it's pretty easy to drop one game that you shouldn't have, especially if you're already up 3-0, which I think they probably will be. I just don't think the Pacers have the talent. Beyond Haliburton, Siakam, and sometimes Miles Turner, they have some pretty good role players, but no one that's going to be making a huge difference. Like, tell me right now, who is the Pacers starting small forward?
Well, they got Neesmith, who's like just a big body.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I was seeing if you guys knew, because I feel the average fan would not.
We know ball over here at the Fuck It We Ball podcast. It's in the name.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
We're all
99th percentile on hoop grades every day. But yeah, I don't think you can safely assume the Pacers are even going to win a single game, but I think they'll get one, just because they do have some talent. But the Knicks are just a better coached, better overall talented roster. I think they'll win it pretty easily.